But why did every ancient civilization build pyramids? Not one culture, not two. Every major civilization on Earth, independently separated by oceans with no contact whatsoever, built the same shape. Egypt, Mexico, Cambodia, Sudan, China, Peru, Indonesia, Greece. The same structure, the same geometry, the same instinct. No one taught them. No one shared the blueprints. No ancient internet connected the Maya to the Egyptians. No ship carried the plans from Cambodia to Sudan. And yet, the pyramid appears again and again on every continent across thousands of years. So what is actually happening here? The first answer is physics, and it is devastatingly simple. Engineer Mario Salvadori spent his career studying why structures stand and why they fall. What he found about the pyramid is this: it is the most stable structure a human being can build without modern technology. Wide base, narrow top, weight distributed perfectly downward into the earth. The pyramid uses gravity as a feature, not an enemy. Every stone presses down and outward, locking the structure in place. You cannot make it fall. Every other shape, the tower, the dome, the arch, eventually collapses under its own mass or requires sophisticated engineering to survive. The pyramid doesn't.
Your ancestors didn't choose the pyramid because it looked impressive. They chose it because it was the only shape that survived. And survival for ancient civilizations was everything. But physics alone doesn't explain why they kept building them. Because the pyramid is expensive, extraordinarily expensive. The Great Pyramid of Giza required 2.3 million stone blocks, each weighing an average of 2.5 tons. Estimates suggest 20,000 workers labored for 20 years to complete it. The energy cost was staggering. Food, water, labor, organization, political will, all devoted to one structure.
No civilization builds something that costly unless it means something profound. So what did it mean? Archaeologist Graham Hancock spent decades documenting pyramid sites across 6 continents. What he found was not coincidence. It was convergence. Completely isolated civilizations arriving independently at the same architectural solution. But more than the shape, arriving at the same meaning. Every pyramid ever built pointed upward. Not sideways, not downward, upward. Toward the sky, toward the sun, toward something beyond the visible world. The Egyptians aligned their pyramids to the stars of Orion's belt. The Maya aligned theirs to Venus. The Khmer at Angkor Wat aligned their temples to celestial cycles. The builders of the Pyramid of the Sun at Teotihuacan in Mexico aligned it to the movement of the Pleiades. These were not decorative choices. They were cosmological statements. The pyramid was a machine for connecting Earth to heaven. Anthropologist Mircea Eliade spent his life studying what he called the Axis Mundi, the world axis. He found this concept in every ancient culture, without exception. The belief that somewhere, at the center of the world, there exists a point where earth and sky connect. A place where humans can reach what is above them. A fixed point in a chaotic universe. Different cultures gave it different names. The Norse called it Yggdrasil, the world tree. The Babylonians built Ziggurats. The Greeks had Mount Olympus. The Hindus had Mount Meru. And dozens of civilizations built pyramids. All of them expressing the same primal need to create a fixed point between the human world and whatever lay beyond it. The pyramid wasn't just a building, it was a statement. We are here, and we are reaching upward. But there is a third explanation, and it may be the most important one. The pyramid is also a social machine. Historian Joseph Tainter studied the rise and fall of complex societies and found a consistent pattern. When a civilization needs to organize large numbers of people around a shared purpose, when it needs to say, this is what we are, this is what we believe,
This is what we will sacrifice for. It builds something monumental. The pyramid is the ultimate monumental project. Building one requires a centralized state. It requires taxation, food distribution, labor organization, engineering knowledge, and a shared belief system powerful enough to convince tens of thousands of people to spend their lives moving stone. In other words, you cannot build a pyramid without first building a civilization. The pyramid didn't come after the civilization was established. The pyramid was how the civilization established itself. Every stone laid was a social contract. Every year of labor was a collective act of identity. The finished structure wasn't just architecture, it was proof. Proof that this group of people were organized enough, powerful enough, and unified enough to do the impossible.
So why did every ancient civilization build pyramids? Because the pyramids solved three problems at once. Problems that every civilization everywhere had to solve. It was the only permanent structure physics allowed them to build. It pointed toward the sky, connecting the human world to whatever the builders believed lay beyond it. And it required and produced exactly the kind of social organization that turns a group of people into a civilization. The shape wasn't coincidence. The shape was the answer to the deepest questions any group of human beings has ever faced. Who are we? What is above us? How do we last?
8 civilizations, 0 contact, 1 shape. Because some answers aren't discovered, they're remembered. And the next time you stand at the base of something ancient and enormous and feel that specific feeling, that mixture of awe and smallness and inexplicable recognition, that feeling has a name. It is the feeling of a species remembering what it once knew about itself. The pyramid is still answering the question. You just have to look up. The pyramid was never just stone. It was never just geometry. It was the physical form of humanity's oldest and most persistent belief. That we are small, that something is larger than us, and that the distance between the two is worth spending an entire civilization to cross.
Every pyramid on Earth is the same prayer spoken in stone.